now my voice should be going through. Okay. Hello, anyone watching at this portion. Um, this is just a test, quick audio test. This time we'll be up for a bit. We might start earlier than 6:30. That's just a grace period I'm giving for my guests to get ready. So, yeah, I'm going to mute myself again, and we will begin whenever we are ready. Hello, people. Thank you for waiting. We will be beginning in roughly 9 minutes. Thank you for waiting, and enjoy. Hello, and welcome to. Oh, I have to switch my thing. Alright, welcome to Passin Time, second episode. Today I'm joined by two guests from the premiere episode. In order, here they are. FyreFlyre, also known as Chris. Hello, how you doing? Can you say that? Oh, my bad. I still have them muted. My bad. I still have them muted. So, how you doing?
Doing pretty great. Do you have us muted on Discord, or do you just have the desktop muted?
No, I have my desktop muted. It's fine now. And I am joined by Dandy Dude, also known as Gabe, who I believe is taking care of something right now. He will introduce himself
No,
later.
I'm
Oh,
ready for my tax audit.
All right. Well, how you doing?
I'm ready for my tax audit.
All right. And one mystery guest who may or may not be joining us later. Not really sure about that part, but might be here. So, for the opening theme
Why
of today.
can't you make carrot cake? Why can't you make carrot cake in Minecraft? Why not?
Interesting question.
There's carrots.
Maybe we can do
there's
that
cake.
later, Chris. So the opening topic for today. How do y'all feel about gardens?
Gardens?
Yes. Gabe, how would you feel about a garden?
Well, I'll tell you what. In real life, gardens are incredibly hard to maintain. And they're pains in the ass. But I'll tell you what. While I'm not one for like physical pursuits, like gardening or fishing in real life, I adore gardening and fishing in video games. So like I've spent hours of my life like fishing in like even on my 3DS, not surprisingly not Animal Crossing, but other games. I love just experiencing nature in video games, and I am a huge fan of nature when simulated virtually. I like nature in general. I don't have the patience to manage one myself, but absolutely adore gardening in general.
Looks like our mystery guest is here, so I will introduce them after Chris's. So, Chris, how do you feel about gardens?
Gardens. Well, strangely, I've never really been one for hosting gardens, and my grandmother has a garden. She keeps track of that regularly. I don't really have the patience to manage a full-on garden. I do grow I grow garlic because that's just one plant in a little pot, and trying to keep that alive in the winter. But I would agree with what Gabe says. I love things like agriculture and hunting and fishing in games. Especially in big open world maps where you get to explore the world and it really immerses you in the role. And
All right.
yeah.
And now, our mystery guest, Clairvoyant, as I'm going to call them, also known as Lilli. Glad to have you. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Sorry about background noises. That's kind of ironic to what we're talking about. I'm planting some seeds. But we're good. We're vibing. My stupid little baby decided to pick the wrong time to make a mess, but he's good. We're good. Just vibing.
Coincidence does not
To
equal
be clear,
irony.
that's not an actual baby. Just for
No, he is a cat. He is a little baby man. He is stupid and likes to eat plants he's not supposed to eat.
All right.
He decided to.
Cosmo's short hair, right?
Yes. He picked the wrong time to try and projectile vomit plants he knows he's not supposed to eat onto the carpet.
Oh.
But we're good now. I picked him up before he managed to get it on the carpet, and we're good.
Okay.
He's just kind of stupid.
Uh.
Small brain man.
Well.
Very dumb.
Another guess. I'm actually farming in Minecraft right now.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So our opening introduction topic, I guess, is Lilli. How do you feel about gardens?
I like gardens. They're good. We had one for a while, and then it kind of died because we forgot to water it for a bit. But we're trying to make one here. We have a big old metal thing, and we're going to fill it with dirt and rocks and drill holes in the bottom of it. We're going to plant a bunch of things. But some of the herbs we had to plant in smaller pots around it because they tend to take over. Like rosemary. We have a rosemary plant, but it keeps dying. Well, not dying. It takes over every pot we ever put it in.
Interesting. I like gardens. I like plants in general. I actually transplanted a few plants with my mom's help before the podcast. So yeah, moved them into bigger pots. So Chris, before we were live, or well, before we began the podcast, you wanted to talk about carrot cake.
Yeah.
So, please share with us, Chris, the origin of how carrot cake came to be invented.
Well, I mean, I don't know the story about how it was created, but I do know something very strange about. You know how carrot cakes are sweet, right? Like when you eat a carrot, the last thing you think of is like a candy to taste, right?
Well,
You think,
they are sweet.
well, yes,
Well,
but
it's actually an
they're not
interesting
candy
thing.
like.
I know how that happens. I actually do that sometimes. We do that for our carrots if we put them in stews and whatnot. It's really interesting. You
I
can
know.
cook. If you cook them a certain way, they get really sweet. You cook them a certain way,
Yeah,
they
that's
get
how
really
where
sweet.
it's when you bake them, they become really sweet. And I didn't know that because I
It's
was at
because
the
sorry.
Yeah.
It's because when you have a plant matter or a vegetable in particular, when you stew one or bake it, you break down those chemical bonds and it releases the carbohydrates and simple sugars into the main of the body of the plant per se.
Yep.
And that's some
Kind
pretty
of quite
dope
an all.
science.
But yeah, I just thought that was because I was at a bakery with my mother. We were getting I think we were getting stuff from my grandmother's. And we decided to get stuff too. And so I had a carrot cake, and I started to wonder that like when I eat carrots, I don't hold up.
Hello.
Excuse me, I thought I was gonna sneeze.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I was wondering because I don't typically think of carrots as being sweet. You think of them as being
No.
they go with you don't dip a cookie in ranch, but you dip a carrot in ranch.
Yeah.
When you eat carrot cake, it doesn't really taste especially carrot like.
Yeah.
Well, it's like grape juice. It doesn't taste like grapes.
Have you ever dipped a carrot
It's
in
like
milk?
grape candy doesn't taste like grapes
No,
either.
I can't say I have.
You ever had what?
Grape
Dipped a
candy is
carrot
the
in
most
milk.
fake grape tasting stuff I've ever had, and it's amazing.
I agree. There's nothing as delicious like artificial sugars.
Chris,
No, I mean it tastes good, but it doesn't taste like grapes. Yes?
Yeah.
have you ever dipped a carrot in milk?
No.
Are
If
you
you do
judging
that,
something?
if you do that, that's cursed. 1 minute. I need to find a like, ow, sharp
On,
thing.
on like the subject of food, I've like is it just me?
Hmm?
Well, I can't stand mustard. Okay, I hate mustard.
What do you
But
mean?
Weirdo.
I don't like mustard. I just
Why
don't
not?
like it. But I do love honey mustard. I can't get enough of
Mustard
honey
is
mustard.
amazing.
I'm kind
I,
of
l-
I'm kind of the opposite. I used to absolutely hate mustard. Now I like it, but I cannot stand honey mustard. It
honey
just
I
mustard is
have
the
never.
greatest thing ever made.
doesn't taste good to me.
It tastes good on everything.
I like honey mustard like if you like whenever you get like chicken, like Mardi Gras
Yes,
mustards especially.
I'll eat it on chicken sandwiches for days.
No, 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 no.
I will drink honey
I like
mustard.
putting mustard on hamburgers, especially like cheeseburgers.
Mm, I think it's a bit too sharp for me.
Sharp cheese is a bit too sharp for you.
No, mustard.
Wait, how's mustard isn't sharp?
Yes, it is. What kind of mustard do you eat?
Heinz. You mean sour? Like, does it taste kind of like? I know it's a really weird way of describing it, but does it taste like too sour to you?
It's a very sharp taste. I don't know what you mean by it isn't sharp. It absolutely is. It's very sharp.
I mean, if you drink straight mustard, maybe, but it's not overwhelming when put on something else in not enormous quantities.
If you drink vinegar while eating mustard,
Don't
Vinegar is
even say
good. Do
that to
not
me.
diss vinegar. Do not diss vinegar.
Vinegar? Wait, do you just like chug vinegar on its own?
I know someone who drinks
When we're
vinegar.
making pickles, sometimes yes. Well, I put water in it because I'm not a complete
What if
weirdo and
you
I don't want to
bathed in
destroy my
vinegar?
enamel.
I'm told that vinegar is very good for your skin.
Well, no, hold on, no, you know how like, just like if you were to bathe in water for
See,
an
vinegar
extended,
and water makes a drink that the Greeks used
Yes.
called pasca.
Hmm?
Which actually, this is kind of leaking my personal information a bit, but I have a nation states called pasca before I knew about it being like a Greek drink.
well,
Oh, I have dirt everywhere. 1 minute. Sorry. This is such a horrible place to do it, but I'm doing it here anyway.
vinegar is very acidic.
Yes.
Or is
Don't
it
destroy
just
your enamel, people.
what I'm
Don't-
thinking? What I'm thinking is like, you know, like if you bathe in water for an extended period of time, it'll cause your skin to wrinkle and crack.
Well, yeah, but that's because of a reaction we have. Well, that's an instinct that we not an instinct. It's a biological reaction we have.
Well, yes, it's
Well, actually, if you did put something in vinegar for a long enough time, it would dissolve. But that's just how vinegar is.
Well,
It's
that's the same
acidic.
way with water too. Water is the
Yeah,
universal
true.
solvent.
Yeah,
True.
but solvent is not equal dissolving.
Yeah. No, what I mean is like it'll eat away at it because it's an acid.
Well,
Oh.
never mind.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. I'm trying. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to be loud. I'm poking holes in something with a thing that I'm not supposed. Oh, there we go.
So y'all like spicy chips, or is it just me?
Spicy chips.
Spicy
Is it-
things, but like I don't particularly like spicy chips.
Is in
Like
like
they're fine, but I
potato
don't seek
chips
them out.
with spice.
Well, I'm eating
No, they're usually corn chips.
Flamin' Hot Cheetos right now.
I don't like flaming hot Cheetos, and I'll
Flamin'
tell
Hot
you
Cheetos,
why.
they taste
I'll
burnt to
tell
me.
I'll tell you why. It's because they're spicy for the sake of being spicy. You know, it's delicious. Hot sauces are delicious. Salsa is delicious, no matter how spicy it is, because the point of salsa is not to be spicy.
There we go.
It's like my favorite Dorito is sweet and spicy chili. Because it has that spicy, it has that spice, but it's not made just to be spicy.
It's not made because I can have spice.
Right, or look how much spice I can handle. Because spice is an enhancer. It's not meant to be it's not meant to be the focal point of a dish. Because
Yeah.
spice on its own is not pleasant.
I remember that I was at a I can't remember the name. Lupe Tortilla.
I love
Shout
the
them out.
tortilla.
I love Lupe Tortilla. They had this spicy soup. It's like a Mexican soup, and it has beans and has some chicken and a little bit of beef, all that stuff. And it's meant to be spicy. And it's spicy because they use something called red sauce. I don't actually know how they make it, but it's very good. It's very spicy. And I got it, and
Hello?
Hi.
You
Hello.
good, Chris?
Oh, his headset died.
That's
Oh.
a shame.
He got cut off before his time.
I guess we'll return to him whenever his headset works or is charged.
Pardon me.
Have you all ever been to Torchy's? I went to Torchy's once.
Yes.
It's really good.
No.
They have decent tacos. I kind of like them.
But
Oh, it's too
all I
much.
know about Torchy's is that Chris once had a gathering there, and I couldn't attend. Hey, oh, sorry.
hello? Yeah, pardon me,
Hello?
my
I'm back.
headset died. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yep,
we can hear
we
you.
can hear you.
Okay, my headset died in the middle of my statement.
Yep, you are good to continue whenever.
So I remember specifically. This is just like a random memory about spice, but I like spicy food. I mean, I don't like things just like I wouldn't snort capsaicin, but
Don't do that.
I enjoy spicy food, and I just got kicked from my own server.
For context, he is playing
But-
Minecraft right now.
Yes, and I remember I had to talk. The manager came by. He said, "Hey, is everything alright?" And I said, you must have forgot the spice because this isn't very spicy." So he brought me like a whole dish of red sauce, and I and I remember that I put the whole thing in my soup, and the wait staff like they looked in horror as I as I made one of the spiciest things in the restaurant.
And they're like,
Oh,
it kicked your ass, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they were just like okay, because I put in like I took the spiciest thing they have in the restaurant and then I dumped it in my soup and just casually continued to eat.
Wow. Well, you
Oh,
must
they must
be.
have been horrified.
This is probably not how traditional people run podcasts, but in 5 minutes I'm gonna go make some soup and I'll be back, and I'm gonna leave the conversations to the guests here.
You have to put someone in charge. This is going to
Yeah.
determine the future of
And
this
that-
of this podcast.
Gabe, I put you in charge first when I do leave.
I'm knighted.
So how I want this to go when I go make my soup is Gabe, you'll propose a topic, and when no one else has anything to say about that topic, it'll move on. In which case hand it to Chris and then Lily.
Okay.
That's y'all's hierarchy.
Okay, sure.
But until
Hmm.
then, I'm still very much here.
Counter revolution.
But there's no. Never mind.
He's gonna take over my own podcast.
We need to have put up a poll.
That's the next. Okay, that's the next topic we should have is counter revolutions. So I think they're hilarious.
No, I refuse to talk
Yes.
about counter revolutions.
They're hilarious.
But you every time like you get a chance to talk about revolutions, you just talk about them for hours and hours. Remember that
When have
time
I
that
ever
we
done
were
that?
on stream and you talked about the Jacobins for like
Oh yeah, I talked about political theory for like 30 minutes.
30 goddamn
Jacobins.
minutes.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
No,
that's what
don't ask.
the hardcore. What's Jacobinism?
No,
No,
Is
he
that
no
what
one
you
is
asked?
asking. No one
didn't
is
mean it.
asking.
So basically,
No, he didn't mean it.
in the 1830s, right? There was this movement.
So Chris, dear viewers, has been muted. Um, I will
Been
now unmute
silenced.
him.
Did you just silence daughter dearest?
I did.
What?
Well, no, I didn't silence daughter dearest. I silenced you.
You
Got him.
you silenced you silenced son of
That's funny.
You having
Good.
you having trouble, Chris?
I'm having a lot of trouble.
Having trouble, yeah.
Having trouble,
Okay, I
Chris.
poked holes in the first one. There might be some noise as I poke holes in the second one.
What are you doing?
I am planting seeds.
Your mom, sorry. I can't resist.
Crude and unusual punishment. You stick me in here with these idiots.
You asked for it actually, so.
Yeah, you
What?
like
Oh
requested.
yeah, I did. But
yeah.
that was meant.
Gabe,
fine,
what are you
sorry.
building
So
over
what,
here?
we're some kind of fool?
Well, I guess
What are you
she
building
didn't
over
ask for it. She consented to it.
I
Um,
did.
well, what I am building there, I am building a altar to child sacrifice.
Oh, um,
A long story, but trust me, it's really good.
We have on our survival multiplayer in Minecraft, we have a consistent viewer, and they are very kind to us, and I appreciate them very much. So
Are you
I'm going to
talking
build them an
about-
altar.
Are you talking about Indigo?
Yes,
Ah, yeah.
and so I'm going to build them an
Derek's
altar.
quite kind to them.
All
Shut
of
up,
my
Chris.
all of the viewers that we interact with on our survival multiplayer and on
I
other streams
plan on
is going to
making
get
a
an
gar- I-
altar or
I
a,
plan on making a garden.
monument.
Yeah.
It wasn't your turn to speak.
Crude.
So the current plan is I'm going to finish this monument, and I'm going to either show it fully complete to the tour, or I'm going to show the work in progress to her, and then I'm going to work on Lilli's, and then I'm going to work on
Yay.
Matt's statue.
No,
And-
Matt's a member of the server.
Yeah, but he was also the first follower of your channel.
Wait, I can actually check
Plus,
that.
I want to build Matt a statue.
Just Matt
'Cause Matt's
deserves a
awesome.
statue. He's a baller.
Matt's epic.
Loud noises as I pull seeds off of pots.
Next time, remind me that next time we have him on, we have to get him to tell the pantry story.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But we gotta
'Cause-
save that for like the season finale.
Well, we got, let's see, his goal was 2 viewers?
No, it was higher than that.
No, I was watching the stream. He said if we get 2 active viewers that aren't us, he'll tell the pantry story.
Yeah, but we haven't had anybody talk in chat yet. I don't think
Well,
so. I
talking
don't think that
chat,
really
no,
counts.
but
I think chat. I think well, really, with
Because
chat.
typically seasons of things like this. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, typically seasons of things like this would be like every season. So when spring starts, we'd start season 2. So like at the beginning of spring, you could tell the story.
I'm
But that's
thinking
just my
about
opinion.
recently. Okay, so the picture being used as a background for this podcast was made with Weave Silk, I think, or Silk Weave.
weavesilk.com.
Weavesilk.com. If you look at the green part, it looks like a hood, and it reminds me of a hip hop artist named MF Doom that died recently.
Oh, that's
And
unfortunate.
while I'm not a big fan of his lyrical stuff, he released 9 albums of like instrumentals and beats that are very relaxing. So if anybody ever has like an absence of things to do, MF Doom's Herb Collection's on Spotify, and I recommend it. I just got reminded of that.
Yeah, and just soft
That's
music.
it.
Yeah, soft music
just-
is pretty good for what there's a lack of entertainment. This is that time where I test the self-governing ability of my guests by saying, I'm going to make soup. Gabe, as I said, you are first in charge.
Okay.
I trust each of you to properly hand down the hierarchy.
Okay.
I
First, we
see.
need to think of something to talk about.
Yeah. Well, you have, I guess, until I get back, so about 10 minutes. Y'all have fun.
Okay.
This, dear viewers, was when I made a very heavy mistake. Alright, I'm
Oh,
off.
that's gonna be Add it in post, bro. Add it in post, bro.
I'm going to open my dictionary, flip to the curse word section. Yes, my dictionary has a curse word section. And I'm going
What
to begin
dictionary do you
reciting
have?
with my
I need that.
ASMR voice. It's called Gabe's Dictionary of Vulgarity.
Start singing copyrighted music.
Audio
No.
Jungle.
Audio jungle.
It's okay because you said Audio Jungle.
Audio jungle.
I'm going to expedite my labor to people who have less money than me.
I'm
And if
gonna
I have-
start just aggressively screaming, just unhingedly screaming. Oh.
Yee.
As it was once said in a very popular platform, in the jungle,
Yeah.
the mighty jungle.
Okay, what to talk about
Chaos for
then?
the chaos god. Chaos.
They eat it. Okay, what to talk about? That's the question. What to talk about? Anybody have any suggestions?
I think I should just start singing copyrighted music.
I
Do
think
not
you
start
should.
singing copyrighted music.
Okay, Chris has just
Ja- ja-
posted something in our Discord.
Oh yeah, I'm making some weave with silk stuff for
It
dinner.
reminds me of Iron Man's core.
Oh, I guess it does. It reminds me of a Dyson sphere.
That's not what
But
Iron
no,
Sphere looks like.
Jack White, I love you. I would simp for you if you weren't a man.
Oh wow, okay.
It's the main
How
problem we have.
misogynist.
It's the main problem we have. So you're a man.
Do not even. It's like you don't even kiss the homies goodnight or something.
No, but like, you don't simp for the homies.
That's true, but he's not one of your
Eh.
homies.
Yeah.
1 minute. The pots have been planted, and there will no longer be any background noise from me poking
I'm
aggressively.
thinking about trying to like reach out to Jack White just to see
Oh.
if I can sing one very specific song in my streams without getting sued.
Bombs have been planted.
Bombs have been planted.
I am a walking Faraday cage to just today, this week.
Oh, okay. I have a topic.
Nice.
And I'm gonna give Lilli credit for this because we were talking about this a while ago. Would you rather prefer an anarchist state or a communist state?
Well, anarchist state, you could just restart completely, just full, like you could just make an entirely new government. You don't even have to follow any of the current government systems. But
No.
it's super dangerous, and also people would, try to avoid, making an entirely new government.
For the sake of a fair argument, just forgive me for interrupting you. For the sake of a fair argument, I'm gonna say let's ignore the fact that revolutions may happen or that we may make new governments given the anarchist world. This living in an anarchist world or living in a communist world.
Oh, I was going to start talking about political theory.
Well, it may be. Well, I'm talking about preference, not about theory. And maybe anarchist versus communist wouldn't be fair. Let's say anarchist versus totalitarian, because that would include
Absolute libertarianism versus absolute. Socialism.
Yeah, and because if I say communism, that includes economic policy, which I don't want you to address for the sake of this argument. Just totalitarianism versus anarchism.
Keeping a communist economic policy typically leads to
Ow.
it involves directly a communist governmental policy.
Well, yeah. Well, totalitarian, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the question is, which one would you prefer to live in?
I would say an anarchist society.
Okay. Any particular reason?
Well, because and just talking about immediate view, not talking about long term, like reconstructing governments, is that you still have that sense of community, right? Because as humans, we were like the very first form of, I guess you could say, like uniting or governing at all was the family model, right? You have the mother, you have the father, you have the children, and then
The
you have
nuclear family.
The nuclear family, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there were no
family.
grandparents originally, nor any cousins.
There actually is a very strong theory that the reason that we stop being able to reproduce at a certain age is so we have grandparents, but that's completely.
But no, what I'm saying is there weren't any at the genesis of the nuclear family.
Okay, but my point is, like, you'd still have people who you are related to would still. You'd end up developing communities, whether you like it or not. People who agree on things stick together. We do that as an instinct. It's impossible not to.
Okay.
Unless you're actively trying to be isolationist.
Okay.
So, being in a totalitarian state, you're giving up your humanity for the sake of. You're not even giving it up for anything. Actually, you're giving it away to somebody else.
Okay.
There's
Mhm.
absolutely no benefit to living in a society like that because you aren't benefiting at all, except that you
Yeah.
get because you think that they're gonna keep you if you live in a complete totalitarian society. Because you could say in an anarchist state, well, maybe there's no doctors, you'll die. Well, you're still gonna die if you're not important to the government.
Okay. What about you, Lily?
I agree. Like, we wouldn't exactly stick together, but if you agreed with someone, you tend to do that. It's just how our minds work. No one can be a total a loner. That would damage your just entire like mental health. Even
Yeah, I
people
agree.
who say they're
I agree. Continue. I apologize for interrupting.
oh yeah, no, even if they were even loners, even just in like school, let's say school setting, dude who just sits alone, they're still surrounded by people. That's technically, they're not completely alone. If they were, if someone was randomly living out in the woods completely alone, they would most likely find things to fill the gaps of actual humans being there, whether it
Like,
be
like a
animals.
pet or a hobby.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Oh no, it's okay. Hi, little cat. Would you like to add your input? No,
Well,
he's gonna
I
run
am
away.
back.
allow me to. Oh, hello, Derek.
Hello.
Allow me
Hello,
to.
good day.
Allow me to propose something that you may not have considered. I know. I understood. I understand. I asked you for your personal preference, but consider this, right? Um, as far as totalitarianism and anarchism compares, keep in mind, but that by totalitarianism, I'm not speaking strictly of communism, nor any of those other kinds of the governments like monarchism. But keep in
True.
mind that when you live in an anarchist society, we're also sacrificing human progress. Because
Yeah.
as much as you would still have that community, what we wouldn't have is the development of technology and the development of infrastructure. So
Well,
the fact of the matter is, the human quality of life would suffer immensely.
Well, yes, that is true, but you also have to consider like under Maoism or under Stalinism or even to some extent Trotskyism and Leninism. But this is getting a little bit into political theory. There was immense stagnation because everything was controlled by the government, right? All production was controlled by the government. There was no reason to do better. This is seen in Cuba. Let me take an example of Cuban cigars. Cuba was once held as the best producer of tobacco products in the world, as far as cigars go, at least. I don't know about anything else. But
Okay.
now if a Cuban cigar is considered to be considerably less valuable and less it's not as high quality as it used to be because it used to be a bunch of competitors who were working to be better than the people
Okay.
against them
Let
to
me.
improve the product.
You have to forgive me, but you're straying from the prompt.
No, I have
No,
a point.
I'm not discussing. What you're
Yeah,
discussing
you're good, but I'm
is the
probably gonna have to
is
go eat, so I'm gonna dip for a bit.
okay. I'll see you in a
Bye
second.
bye.
Well, what you're saying is what drives the Cubans to make good cigars was competition, but this is true. But that's economic theory. That is
Oh, I have a
capitalism.
point. I have a point to this. I
Okay,
promise.
go ahead.
So now they are not held to this. They are not held to the same standard because the sales do not matter. It is a handful of very large companies owned by the government, and they get paid the same. If they roll a very tight, very well-made cigar, they get the same as if they just rolled a decent one. They're paid by the cigar, not by the quality. So then, if you take that into example for medicine, well, if the government is in charge of running research, then it's going to be considerably less efficient than a private organization that has, humanitarian values in view, or they're competing to make a better vaccine so they can sell it instead of the competitor.
If I may.
Sure.
So, I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, but
We were debating over whether we would.
Let me clarify. Because Chris is straying a bit from the prompt here. I simply asked the question whether you would rather live in an anarchist or totalitarian society. So, for example, the world of Walking Dead minus the zombies, of course, and compare that to, let's say, the world of Anthem or The Giver or 1984, something along those lines. And so far, we've had two for anarchism. Although, I proposed maybe some other aspects to balance the argument. And Chris is talking about the incentive to innovate and to create well-made products, but that's not relevant to
No,
totalitarianism.
I had a point. You said that living under anarchism, we would enter stagnation. And I'm making the argument that would be the same under
What I said
communism,
was you would
or
make.
same under
Well, it's
totalitarianism.
not, I didn't say communism. I said totalitarianism. Totalitarianism takes many different forms.
But
It's
my
not
point
just
was going to be
communism.
that, well, are you talking about, because totalitarianism is a very broad.
Exactly. What I'm saying is anarchism is politically as far right as you can go, right?
Yes.
Totalitarianism is as politically as far left as you can go. That
Well,
is
no, because
all I can say.
anarchism is a specific. It's quite specific. It's
No, it's not.
centralized government.
Yes, that is not specific at all.
Quite interesting.
But totalitarianism is where everything rests in the government.
Yes.
But if you take the idea of a monarchy, do you mean an absolute monarchy, or do you mean a parliamentary monarchy or a constitutional monarchy? It's
I
not
asked
as
you.
black and white as it seems.
Okay, let's move on because this isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, let's move on. So, let's see. I have made some soup.
You have made soup.
I have.
That is indeed the truth.
It is. Baked potato with steak and cheese.
Soup,
Nice.
potato, steak, and cheese.
Yes.
That's quite a lot
Nice.
of carbohydrates.
Oh, I'm a thick boy.
It's a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, that too.
It's a 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
Got a pack of 9 on 3.
On another note, Chris, have you been taking much stone?
So no, I haven't.
Okay.
I've actually been putting more in.
No, it was in the product.
Sorry, what?
It was in the product, the smooth stone.
Have I been? No, I haven't been taking anything out.
Okay.
What are you using it on? I don't see anything.
I'm using it to construct that little monument I was speaking about.
So let's talk about music, if you guys want to.
Okay, we can talk about music.
So it's fairly obvious, to me at least. But Chris, what kinds of music would you say you prefer?
Well, I like rock and roll and like classic rock mostly, especially things that were underground, like from 50s to 80s, some 90s to 2000s. I don't like much of what's being created now. Seems very cookie cutter to me.
Would you say that you were born in the wrong generation?
I say that I belong to the blank generation.
And Gabe, what's your type of music?
Well, I can appreciate music from any genre in general. Like I can recognize a good metal song when I hear it. Not that I hear a lot of metal, nor do I hear particularly good metal songs. But I know there are some that exist. I've heard good K-pop songs. I've heard good country songs. Have you ever seen The Rain by Clearwater Clearance, for example? Is a fantastic song.
Cannot say that I have.
Maybe I'll send it to you after this. But if I were to talk about maybe like a genre of music that I listen to systematically, and that I am probably most educated in, not that I'm saying it is the most superior form of music, but certainly the one that I listen to the most would be classical hip hop, and stuff that stems from classical hip hop. So like, stuff from today that pays homage to what made it special and what it is. So what that means is you have, because the attraction of hip hop, at least in my opinion, is different from what people think. Because a lot of people think that hip hop is, all about drugs or
money, women, cars,
prostitutes, violence, murder, and I understand why you would think that. Because two of the most famous hip hop artists of all time, Tupac and Biggie, both made a lot of songs about drugs and violence and women and money. And so I understand why people think that, but that's not the point of hip hop. Hip hop, because you have to separate it into two categories, and I apologize if I'm rambling here.
It's fine. Go ahead.
But you have to separate it into two categories. If you ask me, you separate it into art and culture. Hip hop is both an art and a culture. And as an art, hip hop, really good hip hop, requires technical excellence. It's not like in other kinds of music, and I'm not throwing any shade here, but for example, someone like Adele. Adele has a fantastic voice, one of the best voices to ever live. But what that means is she can make any song sound good just by singing it, no matter how bad the lyrics are, no matter how simple the lyrics are, right? That's why so many love songs are if you really look at the lyrics, so similar. Is because the voice makes up for everything. But if you sit down and you listen to a hip hop song, a really good hip hop song, you can hear and you take that script, that song, and you break it down. It's a study. It's an art form in that way because the art lies not in the singing but in the writing. Because true hip hop has a lot to it. You have rhyme scheme, and there are some great people who are famously good at rhymes. Eminem comes to me forefront of my mind, one of the greatest rhymers to ever live. And you have people who can string words together so smoothly. It's like they don't stop talking. You know, Notorious B.I.G. strikes me is the greatest flower there is, one of the greatest flows there are. Um, and he's long gone now. But anytime you pick up Biggie's song and you hear it, it's it's the smoothest thing you've ever heard. He's butter on the microphone.
And with and to like, if I may interject,
Yeah,
and with like the spirit of music being like music was created from like folklores and stories and
yeah,
ways of passing down like
right.
information into storytelling. And with that, so like being able to rhyme and flow like that is such an essential part of music, which
Mm,
would probably explain why hip hop itself is such a big genre in comparison to a lot of other usually smaller
mm.
genres.
And but you get when you get to the next tier of hip hop is when you have that rhyme, because when you have the rhyme and the flow, you can rap, you can write and you can rap. That's what Biggie could do. Biggie can rhyme and rap. In terms of raw technical ability, one of the best ever. And that's not arguable. You can look at it by breaking down their songs. But the greatest hip hop songs ever made, not only rhyme, not only flow, uh, but they have something to say. They tell a story or they have a message. So it's really easy to to flow and rap about prostitutes and drugs and liquor. Um, it's not stimulating. It doesn't mean anything. You're just not really doing anything. So that's why even though Snoop Dogg is a fantastic rhymer and his flow is insane, he has fantastic flow, but he doesn't really sing about anything. So he's never been in my playlists personally. I'm not saying you can't like him. I'm saying he doesn't have enough substance, if you ask me.
And like in a
But
way, oh sorry,
yeah, no, sorry, go ahead.
in a way that can be said for a lot of genres too, because as I
Mm,
said, the entire like essence of music is storytelling. So
mm,
really, in any genre, a song can be valued by how well it tells something, an
right.
experience, a story. Because you can't sing. I mean, you can, but you can't sing with a passion about something that you haven't experienced.
Mm,
You can make a guess as like as to how it would feel, but it's like, hey, I wonder what being shot in the foot would feel like versus, ow, I just shot myself in the foot. You know,
mm. And that's when you and now that you said that, that's when you've in hip hop at least you've reached the final tier. The people who are essentially gods of what the industry is. Now, people like Tupac and Nas are unbelievably revered in hip hop. They're like basically gods amongst men. They're the Jesus Christ of hip hop, and it's because what they sung. A lot of what Tupac songs were about were not were nothing, but a lot of them were about very important like changes by Tupac, where he talks about racism and police violence. Before the awareness was around, these people were singing about it. Before people rose up in arms to defend these minorities against police violence, these guys were singing about it. And they but it was and they brought the experience of living in these areas to the world. And that's why Pac got so famous. That's why Nas is revered so much. It's also why Eminem got so famous because he did the same thing, but for the white trash communities. Not that they are trash, but that's a colloquialism for them.
right?
Um, and that's why songs like "Changes" by Tupac are so important. That's why all of Eminem's early stuff is so important. Like Rock Bottom from the Slim Shady LP. That's why that song is so important. Lose Yourself is so important. Lose Yourself is one top 3 hip hop songs ever made. Because again, it combines all of the 3 aspects of hip hop: rhyme, flow, and storytelling, or rhyme, flow, and message. So in that way, it's just like it's a form of music, just unconventional in the way it works.
Yeah. I don't really. I was gonna tell my opinion on it after you, but now I don't really feel like because all I have to say is I mostly like freaking like Japanese music, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the cool thing about Japanese music is, like, I'm not saying I don't listen to a whole lot of Japanese music. Like the large exposure to Japanese music I have is through anime openings, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's really cool about that music in particular is that you can feel emotions from that song without understanding what they're saying. That's what's really interesting about the Japanese music, if you ask me.
Yeah, and what was I gonna say? I apologize. I was going to say something. I completely spaced out.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you like,
Oh.
wait, sorry, what?
So I found out recently. Well, I say found out, but I was told recently that BTS, as in the K-pop band or group,
Uh,
actually stands for Bulletproof Boy Scouts in Korean.
really?
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just saying what I've heard, but like that's
Well,
interesting.
I think BTS is really interesting in general because of the fan base. It's fascinating to me.
Oh yes.
It's so interesting because back when Eminem wrote "Stan" back in the 2000s, which, if you don't know, is where the phrase "Stan" came from. You do both know?
I can't say that I do.
Yes.
Okay, well, Eminem wrote a song called "Stan," and this just shows you how influential this artist has been on the genre and in the world. He wrote a song called "Stan" about an obsessed fan who wrote "Fame" out Eminem. This is another song that has fantastic storytelling. It tells a story of a man named Stanley, who was obsessed with Eminem. Well, not Eminem in particular. Well, actually, Eminem in particular. But it was metaphorical in a way. He wrote "Fame" out Eminem, and Eminem was so buried in fame that it took him months to get to his letter. But by then, Stanley had sent 3 letters of decreasing sanity, because he was getting upset that he wasn't being responded to.
He felt he was being ignored.
Yes, and Stanley got so upset about it that he got his car. He taped up his pregnant girlfriend or his pregnant fiance, put her in the trunk of his car, and drove her over a bridge.
Jesus.
And he
And
was
they
recording a cassette at the time, right?
and
Or
they
is that tape?
found the cassette
Yeah.
at the end, and they found the cassette in the wreckage.
Wow.
And that's how the word "stan" became a colloquialism for an obsessed fan, a dangerously obsessed fan. And originally, "stan" was added to the Webster's English Dictionary. And that's how influential
Really?
the
So
musician
Stan
is.
is officially an English word now.
Yes, but I think it's fascinating how this phrase was created years before the BTS came into existence, like a decade before they came into existence, or more.
Oh yeah, it is.
But these people have only gotten worse. It's almost like the future was told by that song.
The concept of media telling the future it's been explored a lot.
The Simpsons, right?
Yeah, The Simpsons. Heck, there was a scene in Shrek 2 that I touched on a few days ago. Not in stream, just like while we were talking.
Yeah, with the George Floyd
Yeah,
riots.
that gets heavily memed on now, but like where that happened.
It's unnerving.
Yeah,
It's really interesting. Yeah.
yeah, and it leads you to, well, conspiracy theorists have field days with that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
thinking about how it's time travelers. I think that's actually a really interesting idea. I mean, I don't personally think this is true, or at least I don't have very much suspicion that it's true. But I think the idea that if that was true, that would be very interesting.
Well, I'm pretty sure Stephen Hawking proved that time travel to the past is impossible.
I wasn't talking about the time travel conspiracy theories. I was talking about the ones that were like, okay, are
They
y'all?
caused it.
Well, yeah, are y'all aware of the organized hatred conspiracy theory.
Organized what?
It's I don't know if it's has an official title. I just call it the organized hatred theory. Basically, it's actually a long running conspiracy theory that started since well, I say long running, but it started since George Floyd and it's kind of picked off. I don't know if you can find it because of how big
Okay.
the internet is. But basically, its concept is like that our entire future is being orchestrated. And let me just say again, these are conspiracy theories. I don't condone them, nor am I saying they're true. I'm just reading off what I know the theory to be. But basically, this theory is like the Simpsons, the Shrek 2 predicting the George Floyd thing. Like that was orchestrated. Like when that movie came out, some government leader said, "Okay, so someone needs to die like this." That's what the whole theory is about. Like things are being orchestrated by freaking I don't know the reptilians.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think it's. I think it's. I don't. I obviously. I think it's the bowl, honestly. But I'll tell you what. There's been so much media. Media is being created at an exponential rate, and information is being uploaded to the internet at an exponentially increasing rate. That it's actually not unbelievable. If you ask me, it's far from unbelievable for these kinds of coincidences to not only keep happening, but to escalate in frequency. Because I don't think the odds are actually that bad for these kinds of coincidences at this point.
Well, yeah, with the sheer amount of, it's like
It's
okay,
content.
yeah. I believe Vsauce made a video about this. I might put it in the description of the archived video if I remember or find it.
Check
But
out his YouTube channel.
yeah, Michael Stevens.
No,
Anyways,
this YouTube channel.
oh yeah. Um, anyways, but like basically, he did a video on coincidences, I believe.
Huh?
It's like if you take one thing, if as long as you have an abundance of material to search through, you can find a connection between anything.
Hmm.
So like
Well, not only that, if you have an infinite repository, you're guaranteed a connection.
yeah, and with something that's virtually infinite, such as the internet, which is constantly expanding.
No, because this is like something I heard about, like the idea that if like the best book that will ever be written is hidden somewhere in pi and hexadecimal. Well,
What?
yes, in theory, I can understand why you'd say that, but I believe a mathematician talked about how it's not infinitely possible, but has infinite capability to be possible.
Well, whenever you include the word infinity in probability, if you include the word infinity in any kind of mathematics, you are making an absolute statement. If you say the domain or the range of this exponential function is from 0 to and the asymptote is at actually from negative infinity and the asymptote is at 3. What you're saying is that function will never end towards negative infinity. It will absolutely not end. There's no limit. Period. If you say your chances of getting this are incredibly small, 1 in 26 trillion, but you have infinity attempts, you are guaranteed to get that eventually. Guaranteed. So we have to be really careful when we use the word infinity, because when you use infinity, you're making an absolute statement. Because it kind of breaks the universe if you think about it. It's the only thing that we have to express something that has absolutely no limits. All of this, like, oh, well, there's multiple infinities, or what about infinity plus 1? That's not practical math.
Infinity
Because,
plus 1 isn't real.
well, yeah, well, neither is infinity.
Well, yeah,
Well, no,
infinity isn't.
there's different types of quantifiable and unquantifiable infinities, but those don't actually have any major differences of
But
just
yeah,
a
exactly. My
basic
point
statement.
is there's
Those get involved in theoretical.
no
Yeah.
practicality into them,
Yeah, infinity
because
isn't. Oh, sorry.
within the confines of the world we live in, and even infinity isn't practical, because infinity doesn't even exist in our world, much less an infinity plus 1.
Infinity is. Infinity isn't cardinal. It doesn't describe the value of something, but rather it's a what's the word I'm looking for? It's a theory, I guess.
Well, it can describe the value of something.
Well, no, because everything in our universe has to be finite at some point, right?
Well, no, when we
I'm
talk
talking
about
about the
math,
hypothetical.
when we talk about math, for example, logarithm or an exponential function, the range of an exponential function y equals let's say y equals e to the power of x. That function's upper range is infinity, as in it is larger than the largest number. It is forever. So yeah, I can describe it. You can use it to describe the range of a function.
I see. Well, that's interesting.
Well, every function's range is infinity. Like, well, not all of them, but a lot of them. Like y equals x, that has infinite range. It can go on forever. Even the most linear function has an infinite range and an infinite domain.
This is true. Yeah. Let's see. Have y'all seen any of the Vsauce out of context videos?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
you forced me
They're
to watch those math.
yeah, they're
Where are
amazing.
your fingers?
Yes. Yes?
Hi, I'm Michael. Would
No.
you like to play with my toys?
Would you like to play my toys?
Michael Stevens is amazing.
I like Vsauce. I feel like sometimes his content gets a bit pretentious, but overall he has interesting things to say. And I can and if you have that, if you've done that much research, I think you're even if you are a bit pretentious, you're allowed that level of pretentiousness.
If you have y'all seen Michael says prime numbers for 3
Hold up,
hours?
check the Discord deck.
Ah, yeah. Our mystery guest may be joining back any second now.
Well, not much of a mystery anymore, is it?
Oh, yeah. Lilli may be joining back any second now. But have y'all seen Michael says prime numbers for 3 hours?
No. Did
No.
he say prime number for 3 hours?
He did indeed say prime numbers for 3 hours.
Oh,
And that's
man,
all the video is. There isn't an intro.
those
it's
numbers
just-
have gone really big.
Oh yeah. And there isn't even an intro. It's just him sitting in a chair with a clock next to him, and he just starts saying prime numbers. Welcome back, Lilli.
Hello.
We are
Summoned.
talking about Michael's prime numbers for 3 hours.
Logically
Oh, no.
speaking, the distance between one prime number and the next one grows farther apart each time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
should.
Because your chances of having a factor increase the larger your number
What
goes.
I wonder is if, and this is probably just like very easily answered with math, but if you went far enough, would the distance eventually start to shrink again?
No, of course not.
Oh,
Okay.
maybe.
Like if we look up the prime numbers, list of prime numbers.
Because the problem is like if you have
Ooh.
it's the multiples of 1 through 9 minus all the even numbers. It's a prime number is just a multiple of all the even numbers that are taken out.
Like
And
they're
then you have
super hard
multiples
to
of
find.
odd numbers, and then you look at like I remember we made these keys where we took a 10 by 10 grid and we counted every even number and we eliminated it. We circled 2 and we circled 1 and we circled 0 because they're all special. And then you took everything that's a multiple of 3, 5, 7, and 9. And then you crossed those off and you got your prime numbers. So whenever you count up your prime numbers, whenever you add to another multiple, then you're counting in multiple. Wait, hold up. Why
Well,
do they get further and further apart?
Actually, I don't think they do, because if we look at the first prime numbers, okay, so you have 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, 37, 41, 43, 47, 53, 59, 61, 67, 67. Like these are all under 10 value and under 10 units apart.
Yes,
On
but how
today's
how
episode,
far?
Gabe says prime numbers for 10 minutes.
But like
Yes.
even in the 7,000s, you get like 7,907 to 7,919. You're still only 12 numbers apart.
Well, yeah,
So I
but
don't actually think that's true.
it gets larger slowly.
I don't know if that's true.
Well, go into like the 100,000s.
Well, I don't. This list doesn't have the 100,000s.
Then they're fake.
False.
Michael Stevens knows more than that webpage.
On a side note, Wikipedia says that there are.
Wikipedia, always the reliable source.
I feel like Wikipedia gets a bad rep. Wikipedia gets
Yeah,
a
it
bad
does.
rep.
Because like teachers say, "Oh, don't use Wikipedia," but Wikipedia provides sources you can look at.
Yeah,
that aren't Wikipedia.
so I feel like they get a bad rep.
And have you seen their editing policy? You can
Yeah,
get banned.
Oh, goodness.
Like if you mess up a number by an actual tenth, you can actually get banned from editing an article.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
And
People
it-
were
I think the reason that teachers tell us like we can't use Wikipedia is
It
because
would be
it's
too
actu-
easy.
Yeah, it'd be too easy.
On a side note,
Worry.
let's have a minute. Say happy birthday to Wikipedia. Wikipedia's turned 20 this year,
Oh, happy birthday! Oh, it's
or
nice.
today.
Oh, happy
But you can almost
birthday.
drink.
Wikipedia can almost drink. Wikipedia is old enough to just sit at a bar, but they can't order anything.
They
So,
can order food.
Yeah.
so it's theorized there are some different mathematical formulas have theorized that there are 4 times 10 to the 18th primes calculated so far, and another one says that there have been 2 times.
What is happening with Lilli?
Olive would
Until
like
the sleep
to,
paralysis demon got to
say
her.
hello.
Hello, Olive.
All right, hello,
Say
mystery guest
hello.
Olive.
Hi, I don't know who's on this call, but hello.
We're just
You
we're just
you just said hello to 15 people.
Yeah, 15. They're bots.
You said hello to 15 bots. How do you feel?
I'm so very. She left.
She
The system
left.
knows you're here.
Huh?
The system knows you're here. iRobot.
Oh my god.
No.
It's just that's my entire statement. iRobot.
I'm so sorry about that. She was like, "What is going on?"
I was kind of debating
Mom.
because I didn't know if that was going to be an ongoing thing, so I was kind of like sitting here back and forth playing with the mute button to see if this was a thing I needed to mute or not.
No, don't worry. She's gone.
Absolutely not, Chris.
Wait, did that notification show up on your screen?
No, it didn't because
On
I'm in
stream?
Discord right now.
Imagine that.
That'd been hilarious.
Absolutely
Imagine you're like
not.
running like a kid's Twitch channel, and somebody like prank DMs you the N word, and
Oh
it
my
shows up on your
God.
banner.
Oh.
Oh goodness.
Mm.
You just get insta lasered.
Like, I'm about to give all you kids an education.
Oh. I don't know where
Let's
to
take a
put
trip
this.
back to the 1950s.
F
Teach you
is
some
for
old
friends who
English.
do things together. U
I'm
is
about to
for
make a
you
soiree
and
of
me.
soiree.
N
I'm
is for
about to go throw stuff at the
down
screen
here in
because
the
I
deep
can't
blue
figure out how
sea.
to do this.
Yeah. Oh lord. You know the freaking like the redneck kids at our school, how they say it just casually.
Oh yeah.
Oi.
That looks like a good stopping point. Thanks for everybody
alright.
else for tuning in. We'll see you
Wait,
tomorrow.
how, like,
We're not-
what,
we're
like,
not
what
stuck.
kind? Like, what kind?
Here, let me just I'm gonna mute myself on stream so I can say the name.
I haven't heard them
Oh.
say it.
No, you
no.
haven't. Oh,
Video-
he says it so much. Well, he
How,
said it
like,
so much.
how does he say it? Can you say it muted?
No.
You did not just do that.
No.
Oh no, I just want to know.
Well,
Derek,
no,
you should be.
it's not a matter of like getting banned because I can easily mute myself. It's just I'm not going to say it.
Okay, that's
But
fine.
Yeah,
he
no,
used to
that's
be
fine.
very
You know.
interesting.
Derek, why
He's
would you say
mellowed
it
out, though.
muted?
I
Why would
didn't.
Derek, why would you say it muted?
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Chris,
For
it's not funny.
Chris, this
for
is not a
context in the
laughing
group
matter.
chat, he has just told everyone to pretend that I did say it because I can't prove that they didn't, which is fair.
Well,
But Chris is an
You can
asshole, so don't
me.
trust
I'm
him.
pretty reliable. He did not, in fact. Say
I have beef with the N word. Okay,
What did he not say?
I'm
Mhm.
declaring
I
war
got
on the
him
N
saying-
word.
Exactly. You
Look, I got beef with it. Listen.
got beef with it.
Oh no.
Listen.
Oh, guys.
Do I need to
Every
mute
ti-
this part?
Who
No,
lets
no,
me
no, no.
plant
I'm just
things and why?
something to consider.
Oh.
Obviously, saying it is not permissible
Yeah.
because it's a slur and it's intended to insult. But I will say, not using it because ethnic people say slurs all the time. And let me put it this way: it is the most revered word in the English language. In this way, it's given so much power. And if you were to say that word, people would act shocked because you're not supposed to say the word. And I understand that, and you shouldn't say it. But people give a lot of power to that word. And you're just giving people who will use that word in racist and offensive ways that power.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying that you should say it, but I'm saying people should probably consider that. That people give the word so much power. you're giving away the power to hurt.
Today on Passin Time episode 2, Gabriel disproves racism.
No, I'm just saying.
No, no,
Dev
no,
talks
no.
about how the N-word is overrated.
oh, oh no.
It is overrated.
Oh, oh
It is, okay.
God, let's
Okay, so
change topic.
I was reading my book I have on on law, right? And it was talking about a case of, actually I guess I probably shouldn't do a direct quote, but it was talking about like federalism and states like stuff like that because it's a law book, and it talked about how the rights of the was proven in a case, I don't know, Frederickson versus somebody else.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me,
No, no.
what?
But this was written
That's
by
a
an
famous
ab.
one.
What?
That I believe I heard that case. That's a famous one. I'm
It
sorry
was
for
it was like it was
interrupting.
like
That
it was like it was post Civil War, and it was
Yeah.
talking about how the federal government has the power to enforce rights afforded to them by the amendments that
Mhm.
were passed. But that defies the federalism, or the original view that the Constitution only applied to the federal government in the sense of the Bill of Rights.
Oh,
But the fact remains is that by an abolitionist they referred to the like the classical way of referring to people with dark skin, not like not what some of y'all might be thinking, but yes,
hey,
like that.
would y'all understand if I said I wanted to change topics now?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely.
Let's change topics now.
Yeah, because yeah.
I like styrofoam.
That's
So
an
I found
acceptable thing,
disgusting.
although
That's
styrofoam is weird.
what?
It's horrible for the environment.
You know, it is, but it's
No, if you burn it, then
It's
it
yes,
decomposes.
then you just release small styrofoam particles into the air. Congratulations.
yeah.
You
Don't
put
do that.
plastic in the atmosphere. Don't burn styrofoam.
Well, don't
No,
burn a
because
lot of things.
if
But
you burn it, then it can decompose.
no,
No,
it can't.
it
That's
can't.
not how it works.
It's a polymer.
Polymers
How small the
don't burn
polymer
like that.
is, like how small it is doesn't change the fact that it won't decompose. Microplastics in the ocean. Just because they're really small pieces won't mean they'll decompose.
They will
Well,
never.
no, plastic doesn't decompose. I know that.
Styrofoam is made
Styrofoam is plastic.
well, I don't know.
It's a
Is it
form of
plastic?
plastic.
Is it?
I think so.
I know. I
Is
know
it
it's a
made of oil?
polymer.
It's
Yeah.
a polymer. That's
Here, let me
kinda
look
like
it up.
plastic is.
What if we
It's
had a
just slightly
Subnautica
different
trash
polymer.
can?
What?
In Subnautica, the trash can you get, you can put items into it, and
Yeah,
it'll
it's
just
a polystyrene foam.
and
Yeah.
it'll just like disappear. But the actual description of how it works according to the Subnautica lore is it like deconstructs the items you put in it down to like their base atoms and then releases those into the atmosphere.
Surely there's a way that we could take styrofoam and then put it through a series of chemical reactions that turns it into something
Oh,
biodegradable.
it's carcinogenic, delightful.
Yeah. No, it is.
What?
It's super carcinogenic.
So
Do
if
not.
if I eat
Especially if you
styrofoam,
burn it.
will I get cancer?
Burning it probably.
So if
you
I
wanna do
burned
that, you're gonna need a
styrofoam and I took a
respirator.
Well,
if I took a peace pipe, right, and I stuffed some styrofoam into the end,
well,
could I
honestly,
speed run lung cancer?
you're probably less likely to get cancer eating it than burning it, because when you
Yeah.
burn it, it allows much faster diffusion into your bloodstream.
I just
Because
bit off a
it's
piece
small
of styrofoam.
pieces.
Coming from someone who typically
So
works with a lot of carcinogenic materials, that it can range from different types of PVC glues to actual styrofoam that can, when you burn it. No, if you want to do anything like that and not have a slightly higher chance of getting any sort of lung cancer or skin cancer in the case of certain ones, wear a respirator and gloves.
Okay,
Respirators are definitely important.
excuse
so
me.
if I put pieces of styrofoam into a bong, right, and then I proceeded
Alright,
to smoke the styrofoam.
Hold on,
No,
Nope.
seriously.
guys.
Excuse me,
Would that-
I have
guys.
to go let my dog out for a second. I will be right back.
All right.
Bye bye.
Alright,
No,
see you in a second.
hypothetically, if you smoked styrofoam, you
Oh
would
my-
get lung cancer almost guaranteed, correct?
Probably.
Possibly. Yeah,
What?
possibly.
That's not really a possibly. That's more of a most likely.
Oh yeah, true, but it depends on if you want faster. It depends on the different types of polymers.
If I
inside of it.
want it
If you want,
You want it
if you
faster.
want
It's
to
like
get lung
it's like
cancer
you
as
can
fast
you
as
can
possible,
get all of the cancer with none of the nicotine.
Yeah,
Oh,
if you want
oh
to
wow.
speed run it.
I just,
Yeah, watch me speed run.
I really hope that doesn't show up on the audio and stream. My God.
Fat
Watch-
styrofoam rip.
Let me hold on. Let me just.
Watch me speed run getting 30 different types of cancer.
Did you just say that on stream? Okay, for reference, Derek.
Sorry about that. We appear to be having technical difficulties. Audio should be back any second now.
Putting plants in my bathroom so that I can grow them, but
Alright, I think
How
we
long does
should
something
be
take
good.
to germinate?
I think we should be good.
I'm not sure. But that's what I've been doing.
I
last 2
barely
days.
I cut a prickly pear in half and buried them. So hopefully I'll have cactus eventually.
A prickly pear?
Yes.
I like
It's a
prickly
type of cactus.
I don't know.
They're evil. They're very evil. They'll jump. They're a type of jumping cactus, I believe.
Oh, I've heard. No, the ones that have prickly pears.
Huh?
No.
What is a jumping cat?
It's a cactus
Please
that
leave.
jumps.
Please. leave.
Oh yeah, and they have fish hook spines, so it's impossible to get them out
Well,
without
actually,
a
not
special tool.
impossible. It's just very, very, very painful.
What if you just rip it out?
They'll get stuck in your skin, and you'll have to wait for your skin to dissolve them.
No, you can take them out.
I love
just
dissolving
like you can take
things
a fish
through my
hook out of
skin.
your skin. It's just painful. Very painful.
No, because
ever
there's so many
step
on both sides. They have to pull them out with tweezers that go into your skin, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, do not.
Mm.
Yeah, don't ever touch. Also, don't mess with fish hooks.
Onto
Coming
a-
from experience,
Onto a less
holy.
don't ever get impaled by one. They're not
On-
fun to pull out.
onto a less disgusting topic. So I came up with an idea, right?
Hmm?
So Lily, since you weren't here last time, yesterday we went to Home Depot, me and my mom, and I got a
Yeah.
7-foot 5
Oh, please do not tell us the chain story again.
What do you? I'm not telling the chain story. I'm just telling something relating to that.
What?
So anyways, so I got a chain, and I want to have it. I want to have it wrapped around my wrist whenever I go walking in the neighborhood. I am impervious to blades if it hits my wrist. Anyways, I went on a test run today. I had it wrapped around my arm, and it's like it chafes really bad, honestly.
Yeah, no, they're gonna do
That's
that.
because it's a chain.
Yeah. So here's
Yeah.
where I'm going with this. Okay. So Chris, you know that little leather covering that's supposed to go on my shoulder for my satchels, for the strap on my satchel?
Yeah.
Well, since that never actually stays where it's supposed to, I took it off the thing. I'm gonna try cutting the little straps in half, and then I have a belt. I'm gonna try cutting that too. I'm gonna glue the little latch onto each individual flap so I can strap it onto my arm, and then I can wrap the chain around that.
You mean? So it's kind of like a.
I'm making a
what happens
bracer,
when you do
basically.
archery? Yeah, so it's something like similar to the thing you wear for archery.
Yeah, I'm making a wrist bracer essentially.
Mm,
A homemade DIY wrist bracer.
interesting.
I might-
Interesting idea.
Yeah, I might make that into a video on itself. In itself. You know.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Archery was fun, but every time I got hit with the thing, it left welts on my arm. But it's fun.
Did you know that I have a perfect score in my marksman section in my ROTC program?
Derek, if
Nice.
if you ingest metallic zinc, you will die.
What?
Yeah, you will. It's
Oh.
if you ingest most pure elements, you will most likely die.
Okay, where does
Not
this...
true.
Yes, you will.
Most, not
Zinc.
all.
Oh,
So yeah, Derek, you probably shouldn't be walking around sweating into a chain of zinc.
I mean,
What do you mean sweating into
you
a chain?
guzzle a pound of sodium, yeah, you can kiss your ass goodbye.
What are you talking about? I'm not eating my chain. What are you...
No, my point is you're holding the chain around your wrist for a long period of time on your pores, and then you're going and
You're
you're
gonna
eating with
absorb
that
it.
hand.
Oh.
You shouldn't do that. You're
Well-
gonna die.
well,
if
Chris,
you
that's
Contact with
enough.
metals can get them into your bloodstream. Ask all the lead factory workers who made lead-based paint that went crazy.
Oh, also, anyone who
What?
works with dimethyl mercury, it
Yep.
worked through someone's in glove and
Hatters,
it
for
got
example.
it got her severe mercury poisoning by just touching a few drops.
Oh, organic mercury.
Yeah, very
Well,
organic, very.
I'm making
Dimethyl
a
mercury,
leather
very interesting
bracer,
thing to mess
so
with. Don't ever touch it.
well,
No, Derek. Still, you probably shouldn't do that.
well, guess
Yeah.
what? I'm going to.
Probably not the best idea.
Derek, we're serious. Don't do that.
You know what I've noticed?
What?
Every time I find something that I enjoy doing, you find a way to make it dangerous.
Did you know?
I'm just gonna
I
give
have
you a
as
minute
much
to think about how stupid that was.
Yeah.
Most of the things you do are
Maybe you ever thought
dangerous.
about you have a proclivity to doing stupid stuff.
No, that's not what I meant. I
Ow,
don't mean
ow.
I don't mean you make it dangerous, Chris. I'm just
Oh,
like,
like
you
it
ruin
ends
my
up
fun.
being dangerous.
You
Ow.
ruin my fun so
Ow.
much.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to keep you from dying.
Oh, did your cat claw you?
Yeah, he's attacking my feet. 1 minute.
Cosmo, you
That's-
bastard. Come here. Fight me like a man.
Hello. Hello, good boy. Stop
I'm like
attacking
a
my
man,
feet. Go to
Cosmo.
bed.
Fight me like a
So
man.
powerful. You're not gonna be so powerful against a Mac 10.
Fight me like a man.
Don't do not fight my cat.
I
Do
got a
not-
gold medal in javelin.
He's a good
I want
boy.
to see I want to see your maximum velocity.
He got a gold
Baseball
medal in
bat.
marksmanship in
I have a
ROTC.
baseball bat.
Do not
did it.
do not attack my animal. Do not attack my animal.
we just-
I will
can we-
thoroughly
I have a Daisy power line.
Without name dropping, can we just talk about someone in ROTC who flexes that they're in ROTC constantly?
Everybody a lot of people who are like people who take ROTC seriously think they're the hottest shit there is.
I'm talking about
Yeah.
someone we may
ROTC is a
know.
good thing to like put on your resume, and it's a nice thing to be
You're
in.
talking
But
to a future U.S.
should-
Army soldier.
you shouldn't let it go to your head.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
no,
the
it
entire
really does.
problem with the military anyway. I'm
Is
not
it-
saying the
do-
military is flawed. That's not a diss on the military, but the people who are in the military, they shouldn't be in the military,
Thank
have
me
that
for my
problem.
service.
Like they have that problem. It goes to their
People
head.
who believe they're entitled. Well, I mean, like I respect maybe the military. I have a lot of respect for people.
Oh
who
yeah, me too.
dedicate their lives to the military. But if you feel like you are entitled to that
Yeah, and
not respect,
you,
like entitled to special treatment.
when you're in the military, you're not an enforcer. You're not a protector. You're a servant. And I think it's important.
You're like a sentinel.
You serve the people. You do not protect them. You serve them. It's the same with police officers. You serve the people. That means putting your dignity before. That means putting everything after the citizens. That goes for every member of law enforcement and the military.
Because I remember I once saw, because I don't have a problem with this, but there's a video of someone asking if there's a military discount, and someone was screaming about how he isn't entitled to anything. But
Yeah,
it's not like he was demanding for a discount.
Right.
He was just asking.
but you definitely can't demand for one.
You can't say, oh well, I died serving this country.
Yeah,
Mm.
because
Yeah,
well,
think
first
about
of all,
that
you
for a
didn't.
Yeah,
Clearly, I'm an immortal cretin that just exists.
I died in battle.
I am immortal. Cosmo is my, I guess, soul thing.
Cosmo is a
It
bastard.
My name
binds me
is
to
Derek.
this universe.
I have been a suicide bomber for 12 years, and I've had 8 successful runs.
8 successful missions.
Yes.
I am an immortal
What happened
creature.
to kamikaze pilots in like World War II? What happened if they didn't die?
Oh,
Well-
I saw a video about that, but I was too lazy to watch it.
Hey.
I could tell you right now, but I can't.
I'm gonna rip.
In an alternate universe, I'm an expert.
I'm gonna rip the styrofoam in half as ASMR for the stream. You ready?
Did you know? Oh, interesting fact of the day. People who name their kids Persephone, I will laugh at them. It
Who?
means bringer of chaos.
I don't. I've never
And
heard
what
a
language?
It's Greek.
Child. I have
They
never.
think it's they think it's no. There are people who've done that, but they think it's pretty because it's a goddess's name. No, it literally means bringer of chaos.
I mean,
There are people named no. Like, if you want to name your child bringer of chaos, I'm not gonna stop you. I'm gonna think it's funny, but
yeah. I've never heard anyone named Persephone.
I've never met a Persephone.
nope. It's rare because people don't typically do that, but it exists.
We're gonna have a lot of really
Yes.
weird names in
When-
30 years.
One
Oh,
should
yeah.
avoid long-term contact with zinc.
My son
F1
Markiplier.
If one has been in physical contact with zinc for any considerable amount of time, one should wash with lots of water for at least 15 minutes. So yeah, Derek, don't do that like ever again.
Please, for your health and safety.
I have conversations for both of you after this stream.
Okay.
Anyways,
Okay.
so moving on from that.
But also another interesting thing. Cyanide doesn't actually smell like almonds. It's supposed to
Almonds
smell
don't have a
like.
smell.
No, they do. If you cook them,
They-
long story. They do have a smell. It's supposed to smell like bitter almonds. Bitter
Raw almonds don't have a
about
smell.
about like a good half the percentage of the population actually cannot smell bitter almonds. It's bitter almonds and almonds are not the same thing. Cyanide.
Yeah,
is supposed
but
to
you
smell
can't
like,
eat bitter almonds. They'll kill you if you have too many.
Yeah, Yeah, no, they will. They will. They are not.
Yeah,
they
they're
donate
bitter
food.
because of the cyanide concentration, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. I
And
think.
it's
Didn't
same
they
with
used to be much
it's
more
the same.
common?
It's the same with apple seeds.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
didn't
actually, apple
didn't
seeds
bitter
might
almonds used
have
to be used in
decent
like
amount
a
of
few delicacies?
Black apple seeds don't have a whole lot, but if you eat enough, yeah, you will die.
You'd have to eat You have to eat like 100 apples.
Not
apple
100
seeds.
apple seeds. I think it's about
Well, if
50.
you distilled them, you could. Yeah, but if you could eat just don't eat apple seeds unless
Don't
you
do
ate
that,
them
guys.
accidentally. Also, people who eat apple cores, why?
I mean,
People
sometimes
eat
the
apple
apple is soft
cores.
enough. Sometimes the apple is soft
Never
enough,
eat an
except for the
apple
bottom
core.
or top.
There are
There's
people
no,
that do.
I
They'll
once
eat
had
them
an
from, like,
apple
the
that was
top
soft enough
down.
that the core wasn't necessarily defined.
You just ate a rotten apple then.
No, it
No,
wasn't
but-
mushy.
Let me tell you. The plant is designed so that you do not eat the apple. At that point, you're just being an asshole to the plant.
Do not eat the apple core.
Excuse
Anyone who
me, what?
does, like, why?
Why are we talking about apples?
Because
'cause I
people
was
eat apple cores like
cyanide.
maniacs.
Oh lord,
Yeah.
who does that?
I remember
Exactly.
only one
Crazy
time.
people who do.
I hate apple cores, but I remember one time specifically I had an apple that it was a good apple, but the core wasn't really particularly harder or firmer than the rest of the apple.
I don't eat
What?
apples because they're so easy to fuck up.
What do you
What?
mean?
Like, I'm so picky when it comes to a good apple.
Oh, I like a good apple too, but not
Because
every apple's a good
so
apple.
many apples are shit.
Okay,
I
I'm
will
about to give an
literally
unpopular
eat
opinion.
any
If I
apple.
get a
I will
large
eat-
apple, I will eat it with a spoon.
You people are crazy.
Thank you
need
for
to-
watching. This is how
You
Chris
are-
got banned off of my stream. Make sure to check out the links in the description.
No, I
final
will
straw,
eat literally
Chris.
any type of apple. If it has a bruise in it, I'll just cut it out. I
Oh,
don't
I hate.
care.
Oh man, I can't do that. I'm a pansy.
Pansy. Just take a sharp knife and cut it out. I don't know why they trust me with those though, but you know.
That's a good way to lose a hand, or a finger
Yeah,
at
but-
least.
A fingernail.
I'm actually decently.
I have cheese grated many a finger pads.
Ha! What a pleb! How have you managed to do that?
It's called being
It's not
free.
that. Huh?
Freedom isn't free. I cut my hand peeling an apple.
Freedom is having freedom isn't free. I grated my finger when I was 3.
Oh. Say
Okay,
hello to
so-
the world.
Yeah.
I just looked
You're
it
a
up
horrible little pleb.
regarding zinc alloys. I'm fine, so I don't know what you're going on about.
What alloy
Here
is
is
it?
my horrible little pleb of a
It's
cat.
zinc
He
and
says
I
hello.
think some kind of steel or iron.
Not every alloy is the same.
Yeah, no. Like I am wearing gold alloy earrings. They are hypoallergenic, but there are some alloys that are kind of dangerous. Like, don't
my point
mess
is,
with
Plus,
I
stuff.
like
alloys
wearing,
don't form chemical bonds. They're mixed,
True.
right? So you can technically separate them very
No,
easily.
no.
Yeah,
Well,
they don't.
well,
It's
no,
like
well,
it's like mixing white and brown rice.
well.
Yeah. You
Alloys
could
don't.
separate it if you tried hard enough.
Alloys
Also,
don't
these
have
are
chemical bonds
Exactly. So you're still coming into contact with
unless you're
elemental
talking
zinc.
about things unless you're talking about like
Steel.
things that have
like sodium and
if you involve a non-metal, you'll have chemical bonds. Well,
Yeah.
you won't have chemical bonds. You'll have ionic bonds, but those are even stronger.
Yeah. Hey, little cat, you want to go out?
no, it's possible to form different. It's possible to form different materials, so different molecules with combining metals.
My point
No,
is,
you cannot.
My point
cannot.
is, I enjoy doing it, and I'm going to.
You cannot create
gonna
a
kill you.
molecule out of only
You're
metals.
gonna
Okay.
die. You're gonna die. That's probably even more dangerous than what I do.
Well, I'm
Dude.
doing it anyways.
Bad idea.
Guys, watch out! He's a gangster. He's on the block with a chain.
He has a gangster. He has a gangster.
He.
He is a gangster. It's like he just has Tupac walking behind him. He has a gangster.
Guys, Tupac's they belong to the streets.
They brought him back from the dead.
I saw a video where somebody had Tupac sing "Hail Mary" as a hologram at Sundance. It was really fucking weird.
Derek, do you mind if at 8 I start my stream?
Because there were just a bunch of people, it was like yeah, and it was just like a hologram of Tupac. It's like, why are you cheering?
Oh yeah, wait, was it for like a who was it? Who was it? It was,
Sundance.
Sundance, yeah.
Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, no.
They had
Because
a
they thought he was.
hologram?
They thought. Did they think that they like they galvanized him back to life or something?
None of those dead ass were cheering for a Tupac hologram.
What do you mean
Yeah,
a
that just shows
hologram?
that-
Why?
Like they used a projection.
Yeah, they projected Tupac onto the stage and they had him sing Hail Mary.
That's possible now?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Oh.
You ever been to like a museum? They have basic holograms where they can like move it in the grid.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
Like, so
no,
they
I've
sometimes
seen
have
them.
it for
They're
little
really
for little
Come
exhibits
with me.
in the
Hail
Natural History Museum.
Mary,
Museum
run
of Natural
quick,
Science.
see.
Wait, you mean Ave Maria?
No, Hail Mary is the name of the song.
That's
What's-
oh. Well, because Ave Maria means Hail Mary, so I didn't know. Anyway, do we have another topic?
I can't say it.
Oh, can you send a link to the Twitch thing in the chat? I cannot find it.
What do you mean?
What
the
Twitch
Twitch-
thing?
The stream?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Oh, ew. It's. Oh no. Oh no, I. 1 minute.
Well, if anyone else doesn't have any conversation topics, we've been going for about an hour and 20 minutes.
Derek, you mind if you raid me?
What do you mean?
You basically shift all your viewers to my stream.
Oh yeah.
Chris, we
Oh,
are
I think-
we are the only
What?
ones watching.
We are the only viewers of this stream. You brilliant man.
I know, but I get a ton of bots.
That don't count towards your viewer goal.
It makes me happy.
Y-
Actually, like, it doesn't make me happy. Never mind. Don't do that, please.
Oh, well, now I'm going to.
That's deep.
Actually, never mind. It doesn't make me happy.
So you think we should end it?
Sure.
I guess.
Yeah, it's been about an hour and.
What was your
20.
outro?
My outro is just whatever I say.
Alright,
so-
guys,
The
Jojo, see what
existence of time
now.
is
Oh god, don't even
false.
say that name.
We live in a
near me.
hologram.
Ugh.
What is going? Wait, how do I need to bridge it? What is going on, guys? I just bought 100 PS5s.
So this is. And dear viewers, this is the story of how I muted Discord for the remainder of this video. So
Because I am a little
Staying
p.
on
Y'all.
YouTube.
y'all, I gotta.
Subscribe. Subscribe to me.
Can you
Subscribe.
can you let me do
Yeah.
the thing first? Then
Pause. You've been paused.
can you let
Derek.
me?
I
You've
use
been
my
cancelled.
I
Plugging
use
my
my I use
channel.
my mortgage remote
My
on you.
mom just bought 100 PS5s.
Oh
I
I
made a
got
diss
so
track on my
mad.
mom.
Ding 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 ding.
She just-
subscribe.
Okay, well, I will undeafen once this is done. However, this is going to conclude the end of the stream. After my outro, I'll let them plug themselves. So thank any of y'all for watching, whether it be an archived or live, which I don't think anyone here is live, but you know. So thank you for watching episode 2. I will try to do one of these every day, probably around 6:30. With that said, I will now let them plug themselves.
I'll be posting.
Now you can plug
tomorrow.
yourselves. Go.
Yeah, subscribe to the
I'm-
last one. Standing
one
on
at a time.
YouTube. I'll be here. I'll be there about 4, I think.
Oh,
Subscribe,
Claire, are you
subscribe
gonna
to
get
me.
on the server?
What
Who's
server?
Claire?
We have a. Oh.
Me. Oh no, you didn't invite me.
Hold up. Whenever I'm watching Derek's stream, it puts my status as watching him.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, I officially reached 10 followers.
GG. GG.
Oh,
Okay, I am. Oh wait, Gabe.
No, go ahead. Because Chris needs
Okay,
to go
so
first.
I'm FyreFlyre321 on Twitch, FyreFlyre, and on YouTube I'm just the same except no numbers.
Subscribe to the last one standing on YouTube. I'll be streaming tomorrow. The first stream for my survival world is up, and it should be It should be there. On the second stream, will be live tomorrow at around 4.
Did you stream Deadass? Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm a pleb. I stream on YouTube, but I can't
No.
stream on Twitch because I don't have
Is
stuff.
it Deadass on Pocket Edition?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I actually have a plug. Hold on. I don't actually have like a Twitch or a YouTube, but if you like
SoundCloud.
feel like doing something important with your views, go to Chris's channel and ask for me, so I feel better about myself. That's it.
Yeah, we have 2 for FyreFlyre. Going once, going twice, sold.
And with that said, thank you all for watching. Most likely an archive, but we will probably upload episode 3 tomorrow. So with that said, thank you all, and good night.